Super Smash Bros. And Tekken, possibly the two greatest fighting game franchises in the history of video games ever. So, since Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was recently released, and there's going to be a new Super Smash Bros. Game releasing soon, I figured we'd decide which one is the best by judging their best qualities and their worst. I am a fan of both of these, so I am not choosing favorites. I'm choosing by fact. Absolute fact. But before we begin, we must go over some rules. Okay, about giving out points. The rules for that are, there are a bunch of different topics we will talk about for each game. Whichever one has the best will get a certain amount of points depending on how important it is to the funness of a game. For example, gameplay will have a very high amount of points for the winner. But since graphics aren't that important, the winner for best graphics won't really get that much. And y'all can vote in the comments which game you like better. Each vote will count as 5 points towards each game. You have 1 week to vote after each part, before I count them all up and begin editing the next part. So, is that clear? Good. Then let's begin. Graphics are not worth very many points, so we'll go ahead and get that out of the way. Now, as you can see, these graphics are amazing compared to the time when this came out in 1994 for the PlayStation 1. Tekken has always been great with its graphics, better than Smash Bros. In any way. Not trying to be mean, but it is true. Now let's take a look at Super Smash Bros. Graphics. Now, we all know Nintendo hasn't been too good with their graphics. The first Smash Bros. Game released for the Nintendo 64 in 1999 did not have very good graphics compared to other 1999 games. But they make up for it with incredible gameplay, but we'll get to that later. So for the graphics, the winner is Tekken. games are definitely not well known for their characters. They look just like any normal human being, except for the bears and the ogres and the aliens and what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the characters. So, they don't look any different from anyone you would see walking down the street. However, their personalities and backstories are so well built, it makes these characters incredibly unique. But they're not very recognizable. Walk up to a random stranger and say, "Hello, do you know Jin Kazama?" And they'll be so confused. However, with Mario, they know who you're talking about. Now on to the characters of Super Smash Bros. Characters of Super Smash Bros. Are very recognizable, with characters from several Nintendo franchises such as Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, and more, while also using some third-party company characters like Sonic and Solid Snake. Now, these characters don't have very much personality, but they're very unique. They're fun to look at, fun to play as, and overall, they're just really great. So the Nintendo characters in Smash Bros. Have uniqueness on their side, while the Tekken characters have personality. Kind of a hard choice, but I guess the winner is Super Smash Bros. Now, the Tekken games always get positive feedback, with high scores on IGN reviews, GameSpot reviews, Machinima reviews. Basically, every review of Tekken is good. And if you go on YouTube and type in Tekken rants, there aren't any real rants, just reviews. So, if there are no rants, it must be a good game franchise, right? So, Tekken's feedback is very well. Now, on to Smash Brothers. Now, the Smash Bros. For 64 got mixed ratings. Smash Bros. Melee, whew, you should have heard them. "This is the best game ever!" But when Smash Bros. Brawl came around, lots were excited, but some were, "Sonic's too cheap! Ike's too powerful! This game's for noobs! This Wi-Fi reception is horrible!" Yeah, you get the idea. Too many complainers. So I think it's pretty easy to tell who gets the points for best feedback. Tekken. What? You think round 1 is over? Not even close. We still need your votes. What do you think is the best game so far? Smash Bros. Or Tekken? Now, you can only vote once. If we see your username twice, we won't count it the second time. You can still comment too, just don't forget to vote. You have a week to vote until I begin editing the next part. So have fun and we'll find out what the best game is next time on Smash Bros. Versus Tekken.